Assalamu alaikum. This is Sharup Mujumdar welcoming you to the English news from Btv Chattogram. Let's begin with the top stories. ICT takes cognizance of church sheet against 41 persons, including Sheikh Hasina, in Shapla Chattur killing case. High-level meeting on replacing Jatiya Shangshad sound system held. Investment top priority in nation's progress to $1 trillion economy, opines Finance Minister as Chinese Economic Zone in Anwara of Chattogram launched. Registration for next year's Holy Hajj begins to continue till September 24th. Responsible and independent journalism must be preserved at all costs, says Information and Broadcasting Minister. US and Iran seize retaliatory attacks for second day. Oil prices fall in global markets. And Sylhet boys and Rangpur girls clinched football championship titles in Notunkuri sports. Viewers, those were the top stories. Now moving on to the details. International Crimes Tribunal (CHU) accepted formal charges against 41 people in a crimes against humanity case over the Shapla Chattur killings. The tribunal also issued arrest warrants for 31 fugitives. It ordered all accused to appear before the court on 16th August. The tribunal, led by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhary, passed the order today. Ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is the main accused in the case. Other accused included former Inspector General of Police Hassan Mahmood Kondagar, former RAB Director General Benazir Ahmed, former BGB Director General, retired Major General Aziz Ahmed, several former police officials, and a number of journalists. 10 accused are already in custody. They include former Ministers Dipu Moni, Shamsul Haq Tuku, Hassanul Haq Inu, former IGP Shahidul Haq, former military officer Ziaul Hassan, journalists Muzammil Haq Babu, Farzana Rupa, Shakil Ahmed and Shahriar Kabir. The case is linked to the Hifazat Islam rally on 5th of May 2013. The tribunal's investigation agency said it found evidence that 58 of the 61 reported deaths at 4 locations were confirmed. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman attended a high-level meeting on replacing the sound system of the Jatiya Shangshad. The meeting was held at the Cabinet meeting room in the Shangshad Bhavan today, with Acting Speaker Barrister Kaisar Kamal in the chair. A detailed presentation was made on various state-of-the-art sound systems available worldwide with a view to replacing the existing sound system of the Jatiya Shangshad. During the meeting, the Public Works Department presented possible technological options, technical capabilities and an implementation plan for the project. The presentation covered the technical features and performance of modern sound systems, as well as their suitability for parliamentary proceedings. Participants in the meeting also shared their views and provided necessary guidance on the proposed replacement. Opposition leader Dr. Muhammad Shafiqur Rahman, Housing and Public Works Minister Zakaria Tahir, Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Muhammad Asaduzzaman, ruling party Chief Whip Nurul Islam Moni, Opposition Chief Whip Muhammad Nahid Islam and other concerned officials were present at the meeting. A new chapter in the implementation of foreign investment-based industrial zones has begun in the country with the laying of the foundation stone of the Chinese Economic and Industrial Zone in Anwara on the banks of the Konafulu River in Chattogram. Finance Minister Amir Khusro Mahmood Chowdhury and Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed laid the foundation stone of this Chinese economic and industrial zone today. The Finance Minister said investment is a big priority in the progress of the country's trillion-dollar economy. This will have a positive impact not only on Anwara in Chattogram, but also on the development of the living standards of the people of the entire region and on the industrial zone. He called upon Chinese investors to invest in the country's capital market in this regard. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed said, China, once a development partner of Bangladesh, has now become a strategic partner. This project is a milestone in the friendly relations between the two countries. He said that the government will ensure the security of all domestic and foreign investors. Appreciating the economic growth of Bangladesh, the Chinese leaders hoped to maintain the quality of products manufactured here. Later, the Finance Minister, the Home Minister and the Chinese Ambassador to Bangladesh planted saplings in the project area. The Finance Minister and the Home Minister talked to the media about attracting foreign investment and security at this time. This Chinese economic and industrial zone is being developed on an area of about 800 acres in the Anwara of Chattogram. An investment of $1.3 billion is being made in it. This economic zone will directly and indirectly create employment for more than 1 lakh people. The target for implementation has been set in 3 phases by December 2031. However, Chinese and domestic businessmen hope that the products produced here will come to the market within 1.5 years in the first phase. This project will open new doors of possibilities for industrialization, job creation and investment growth in the country and will be the country's model economic zone. The primary registration process for the next year's Hajj officially began today and will continue till September 24th. Prospective pilgrims must complete their primary registration within this period. The information was announced yesterday in a press release issued by the Ministry of Religious Affairs. According to the statement, the Bangladesh government finalized the registration schedule in line with the Hajj roadmap announced by Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. Pilgrims may complete their primary registration through either the government or private management system by depositing 3,50,000 taka. However, all prospective pilgrims must first complete a mandatory pre-registration by depositing 30,000 taka. Those who complete their primary registration must pay the remaining amount of their selected Hajj package and finalize their registration by December 10th. Under the government scheme, intending pilgrims can create an account in the e-Hajj system and complete the registration themselves. Registration is also available through Union Digital Centers, divisional and district offices of the Islamic Foundation, district and Upazila model mosques, the Islamic Foundation office at Baitul Mukarram National Mosque, and the Dhaka Hajj office. Applicants registering under the government scheme must deposit the required amount at any branch of Sonali Bank using the designated payment voucher. Those opting for the private Hajj scheme must deposit the required amount into the designated bank account of their respective Hajj agency. Details of each agency's bank account are available on the Hajj portal under the agency's profile. Information and Broadcasting Minister Jahiruddin Shopun said the welfare of the media and journalists is synonymous with the welfare of the country and its people. He stressed that responsible and independent journalism must be preserved at all costs. The minister made the remarks today while addressing a view exchange meeting as a chief guest organized by the Journalists Welfare Trust at the Borishal Circuit House. Managing Director of the Journalists Welfare Trust, Mohammad Abdul Bashir, and leaders of various journalists' organizations also addressed the event. Later, the minister distributed grant checks totaling 38 lakh to 39 journalists from the Borishal division. Earlier in the day, the Information Minister planted trees along the banks of the Shonirbhor Canal in Borishal Shodor Upazila as part of a tree planting initiative. The government has taken a plan to transform the Chattogram Zoo into a modern entertainment and wildlife conservation center on the model of an international standard safari park. State Minister for Fisheries and Livestock Sultan Salahuddin Tuku said this while visiting the Chattogram Zoo today. During the visit, the State Minister inspected the infrastructures of the zoo, animal housing, visitor facilities and overall management. State Minister expressed strong optimism that the successful implementation of these upgrades will turn the zoo into one of the most prominent and attractive wildlife conservation and ecotourism hubs in the country. Member of Parliament Hammam Kadir Chaudhary was present at the time. Now international news. The United States and Iran have refrained from carrying out retaliatory attacks for the second consecutive day. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai said that mediators, including Pakistan and Qatar, have continued to facilitate the exchange of messages between Tehran and Washington. However, he emphasized that, regardless of any ongoing discussions, safeguarding Iran's sovereignty will always remain the country's top priority. In an interview with the media, Baghai said that the latest attack marked the third time the United States had breached trust while negotiations were underway. He also stated that despite the provisions of the signed Memorandum of Understanding, the United States had failed to release Iran's frozen assets. Meanwhile, after 2 weeks of continuous strikes on Iran, the United States announced a temporary suspension of its military operations, leading to a 5% decline in international oil prices. Analysts believe the development has eased market concerns by raising hopes for a diplomatic resolution. Various international news agencies said the price of Brent crude fell by 5.77% to $91.20 per barrel in the international market. At the same time, the price of U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude declined by 5.50% to $84.40 per barrel. Wildfires in France and Spain remain out of control, prompting the evacuation of nearly 270,000 people to safer locations across the two countries. French Interior Minister Laurent Nunez said that 167,000 people have been evacuated from the city of Bordeaux and the Gironde department in the southwestern Nouvelle-Aquitaine region. An additional 30,000 residents have been relocated from the neighboring Lens department. He added that nearly 98,000 hectares of land, an unprecedented figure, have been burned by wildfires in France since the beginning of 2026. Several major fires remain uncontrolled across the country. Meanwhile, Spain's Ministry of the Interior reported that the number of people evacuated due to the wildfires has risen to 70,000, which is 25,000 more than previously reported. According to local reports, the wildfires in Spain are primarily concentrated in areas surrounding Madrid. 5 climbers have died on Russia's Mount Elbrus, the highest mountain in Europe. Russia's emergency ministry said rescuers evacuated the bodies of 2 dead climbers who are located on the mountain at an altitude of 5,350 meters. After first saving 2 other climbers who were evacuated from the mountain and taken medical care. The regional branch of the investigative committee of the Russian Federation said rescuers had the bodies of 3 more deceased, but that they have not been evacuated yet due to bad weather. Now news on sports. Football. Rangpur and Sylhet regions have successfully clinched the championship titles in the grand finale of the Notunkuri Sports Football Tournament held at the Army Stadium in the capital. Rangpur region defeated Rajshahi region by 4-0 goals in the girls category, while Sylhet region defeated Mymensingh region by 1-0 goals in the boys category. After the match, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman distributed the prizes to the winners. At this time, the Prime Minister called on them to develop themselves to build the future of Bangladesh. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman also sought the cooperation of children and teenagers to build a beautiful Bangladesh.